maybe candy was not the greatest thing to get for this. But, howdy, I'm here. Welcome. I don't know if this is actually gonna be a video, so if you're seeing it, then, alright, yeah, cool, I did the funny. If you're not, then, great. This is a cool waste of time. Funny, there's no script. I feel like that's obvious. I made new V2 model, and I figured I'd make a funny video out of it, but, if you're expecting this to be a tutorial, no, but hold on, don't click off if you are looking for a tutorial, below description, I'm putting links to what the bunch of people that I used their tutorials to help me make this. Man, I really cannot talk today. I should have it's fine. I'm one-shotting all this because I don't care. But yeah, below there's funny people that I used their videos to help me make this, and my best of luck to you. Have patience. It will be jank no matter what you do, and that's totally fine. Anyway, this is a terrible intro. I'm not refilming. Anyways, going on to whatever's next. Alright, cool. Pretty much, also, I'm like recording these audios without actually looking back to the video, so there's no good timing. Pretend there is. But pretty much, first thing I do, you make your model. I have two separate files. I have one that has everything separated, and then I later compress it, so it's not too many files, because I don't buy the, actual, model program, so you can only have a certain amount of layers. But pretty much just compress what doesn't move too much, or, moves as one thing. And then, if it, is very intricate, with the mouth, that I keep on a bunch of different layers. But yeah, pretty much, just draw your model, you cut it up. Some people will, completely draw their model and then cut it up. I usually cut it up as I go, just because it's easier. So you just, pretty much with cutting up, you just put everything on a different layer. This part's, the easiest part for me, at least. You just separate things. There's not much to say. It's just layers and separating and all that fun jazz. Next up, these are, different videos in my thing. I don't know why I did that. But pretty much, you import your file, and that literally, pretty much if you just want to convert your original, compressed art file into a PSD or Photoshop document, throw it in the Live 2D, and it just kind of works. Obviously, you still have to do everything, but it puts it in fine, everything's separated, it's all good. Okay, this next part, terrible. You like triangles? It's all triangles, baby. Pretty much what you do, you take all your layers, and then you you're doing your I don't know the term, so this could be wrong, but you're just making texture layouts, essentially. So pretty much what you do is you click on one of the layers that you're working on, and then you hit another button and say, hey, I'm making textures, and then you go, cool. And then you just try to make perfect triangles all over it. This part takes the longest, and I'll put, I'm gonna put somewhere, how long this took, a timestamp of how many hours it takes, but this part sucks. It just takes too long. You can do, they have, defaults you can do, when you can, set it, as standard, heavy deformation, or little deformation, but half the time it's janky, so I do it myself, so it's unjanky, and then it takes 5 years. But pretty much what this does, makes it easy, so if you do move stuff around when you do, because, it's a model, it is going to be moving, kind of helps out a little bit, so that's kind of why you want to make sure it's all set up good. You can go back and fix this later, it's just a pain, so usually just try to do it right the first time, and then hopefully don't have to deal with it too much later. And also, I don't know how sped up this is, but you'll see me use it around, I use it a lot with, the mouth and the eyebrows. But, there's, it's a blue line, I think it has red or green dots on it. Pretty much, instead of, moving, the individual, triangle dots, you just use that to, move a group, and it's a lot easier to do bends and curves and whatever you need. But yeah, no, summary of this part, it sucks, triangles, it's all triangle strategy. It sucks, it's stupid, and takes too long. I hate it. Anyways, moving on. this next part here, this is the texture atlasing, and pretty much you're just making a flat PNG document that has all your textures laid out so the program can just yoink them. I don't know the technicals of it, but it's pretty much you're putting together a puzzle using the triangles that you put over all your like layers beforehand. So it's just a puzzle. You can change the scaling. For the most part, I always have to drop my scaling to like 90, and then for some of the stuff I do like at 80 or 70. But pretty much it's just all your textures, put them on one flat document, make it a puzzle piece. Don't have anything overlap because that will screw everything over. This part usually isn't too bad, it just takes a couple tries to figure it out. But yeah, anyways. Next part. This next part, it's not really, like, annoying. It's tedious to do. And this is just setting up your draw order, which for the most part, you'd think it would be set up, but no, it's not. But essentially what this is, it's just your layer order, and it goes from, like, 0 to, I think, 1,000? Don't hold me to that? I don't know. But yeah, pretty much 0 is going to be your bottom layer. So I'm going to just say 1,000 is your top layer. So pretty much you're just going through and putting everything on a different layer. So I usually go by tens. So like I think I have tail is 0, back hair is 10, hood back is 20, and then so on and so forth. You get it. Usually if it's like a mirrored parts, like the arms, they're on the same layer because they'll never overlap, so it doesn't matter. I think usually eyes, like everything around the eyes I will have, so like eye tops will be on the same, eye sides will be on the same, eye bottoms will be on the same, eye whites will be on the same, pupils will be on the same. You get it, antlers same, ears same. Pretty much you're just making, it's just layers. If you've been in an art program, if like you've seen an art program, or if you've done like anything, usually digital, it's just you're stacking stuff, it's the tower. That's pretty much it. It's not a pain, it's just kind of annoying. Anyways, moving on. This is pretty much with this is your warps, and pretty much what you're doing is you're making literally, if you want to know more about this, I would just freaking find a tutorial, because I do not know how to explain it, but I will do my best. Pretty much, warps it allows you to move your model. It's green, red box around whatever part you're moving, allows you to easily warp your stuff to create movement, and that's kind of it, and you just need to set them up right, and pretty much best way I can describe, you're just making folders so you might see on the bottom left, I believe, I'll have like a body, main body, torso, main head, face, whatever else. There's also rotators in here. Those I usually just use for the ears, neck, and head, and that just makes it a lot, it's a rotator, it rotates things, that's pretty much it. But this part, it's pretty easy. Usually I have to go in and fix it as I'm like modeling and like rigging and setting parameters, so it's what you're seeing now probably changes, but if you ever want to look at it, it's in the bottom left. That's primarily where I'm clicking and working. But yeah, that's kind of all that is. Next part. Let's see, this next part we have. Alright, this is where you actually get to see me do some of the like parameter setting, which parameters, there's the box to the far left, bottom left, that's like your that's your order and your warps. The box to the right of it is where you have all your parameters. And basically, for the eyes, you're setting what your open looks like, what your close look like. There's an option to have, like, so when you smile, your eye will kind of, like, scrunch up a little bit, like it actually does. This part's kind of, I used to hate this part, but now that I know how to not do it stupidly, it's not that bad. But pretty much what I do is I'll just move, like, the left top eye, and then I'll go over to the right one, move that one, and then try to make them look pretty similar. I think there's a way you can actually mirror them. I don't know it, I don't care to look it up, but pretty much move one part, go to the other eye, move that same part, just so you can try to keep everything in line. It's just, I'm making the eyes. Oh, also I'm moving, I probably already did this. This is like the first thing I usually do with eyes. You also set what the far points of like where your actual like pupil, whatever you want to call it, can look. So you're setting like your up, down, left, right, corners. That's pretty much it. This part's pretty simple. When I first had to do it for my first model, I hated it because I set it up stupidly. But now that I'm not as stupid, I'm still kind of stupid, but now that I'm not as stupid, I set it up good, so it's not that bad. Next part we have is the mouth. This part, so it's not the worst. It's just not that fun. Like, it's really annoying. But pretty much, there's a graph. I'm not gonna put, it's from, I think Dreamtrove's tutorial that I use. But pretty much, you're just setting your form, which is usually you have a frown, neutral, smile, and then what it looks like in different opening. I think this is a 3x4 like parameter grid that you'll see in the kind of bottom left area. But pretty much, you're going through setting. I think for the most part, the ref I was using, it is mostly just kind of vowel shapes. But pretty much this is just a bunch of different shapes for your mouth to, or the like rig model to like kind of try to match, or roughly match. And this part's kind of a pain. There's a lot of moving parts because like I have the back mouth, top teeth, tongue, bottom lip, flash, bottom lip line, top lip flat. It's just, this part's kind of annoying. It's not the worst thing I have to do, but it's kind of, it just gets a little tedious. But yeah, it's not that bad, and it definitely helps bring the character to life, and you can make some goofy expressions, like the stupid, like, kind of scary big smile I can do. It's done for this. But yeah, that's kind of all with the mouth. Moving on, this next part we got here is the eyebrows. These are pretty simple. You're just setting how high or how low you want them to go. There's angle, so you can get that more like angry look or more of a sad look. And then there's form. And then form is just like your arch, like more up or more down. This part's pretty simple. I think it definitely does help add a lot more emotion to your character, and something I personally do because my character has the big goofy ears. Usually I will also put the ears as part of this, so if the eyebrows go up, the ears will go up a little bit, eyebrows go down, ears will also go down a little bit. It's just a fun little detailed add to just give it a little bit more expression. That's kind of, this part's usually pretty quick and easy. And next part, head and others. Okay, I do not know what the others were, I think that's just general fixes, but the head, Jesus Christ, I hate it so much. It's not the worst, but God, it's such a pain to, because it's just, the way like my art style is, it's not like, oh, I just take the head shape and smoosh it a little bit, oh look, character's turn. No. So this part, it just takes a lot of like tweaking and trying to figure out what works best with your warp layers, and you usually have to set like 5 different warp layers to try to get the look right. I think at some point I had to make a new one for the ears, because for some reason it just was not working, so the ears were not warping the way they were meant to be. But pretty much with this, you have an up, down, left, right, and then you have your 4 corners. Pretty much you do your ups, down, left, right. Those ones, the basic ones first, say your warps to make it kind of look like you're looking up, down, left, and right. And then there's a thing in this program called synthesize corners, and pretty much it will just, because you know, you have your neutral up, down, left, right, and then you have the 4 corners around it. Usually with synthesize corners, it will do those corners for you, but half the time when I do it, it doesn't work that well, so I have to go in and kind of do it myself. But even then, synthesize corners does give you a really nice base to kind of go off of. But yeah, this part, not the greatest, but it, you know, it's more of the, hey, this helps bring your character to life, you know? Also, I usually, I started doing this, I didn't used to, but usually I'll also put the body moving a little bit with this, just so, you look left, the body will turn a little bit left, turn right, body will turn a little bit right, up and down, it'll warp a little bit, nothing crazy, but just kind of, because I don't move my body a lot, so it's kind of like, alright, just to give it a little bit more motion. Screw it, might as well. Next part, moving on, whatever that is. Alright, cool. Next part, physics. Alright. So, this is pretty much, you'll see it, I move the character a lot with this. But pretty much with this, you're just setting it up so if like you move your head, your hair will sway a little bit, or if you have like my jacket strings, they are meant to sway a little bit. I couldn't get it to work, which is real great. But they're meant to sway. But pretty much what you do with this is you'll set the farthest left and or right, like your hair will go at all, and then you'll go into the physics, like sub-page, docker, or whatever you want to call it. You open the physics menu, and then you'll click or like then you'll pretty much choose what chooses like what. How do I explain this good? You have an input and your output. For my hair, input is the head movement, output's the hair. There we go, that's probably the best way I can describe it. And then you just have a bunch of numbers you can change to make it react differently, and kind of just make it however you can. If you want to go out, it doesn't have to like react how it actually would. You can do whatever you want. You can make it not move like way too much, and it doesn't look natural. You can do whatever you want on this part, and you can do. Usually, like pretty much any like secondary movements when you're moving your character, such as like head or hair sway, glove swing, chest. If your character has the funny bohinga winga gingas, usually it's done for the physics menu. But yeah, it's very buggy at times. But I got the hair to work. I still need to maybe try to figure out why the strings aren't working. But I've had that issue a lot, so it doesn't surprise me that happened again. But yeah. Anyways, moving on. Pretty much at this point, the model's done. But this is something I saw someone on TikTok and like, oh yeah, that's cool, I'm gonna steal it, essentially. But pretty much, at Live 2D, you can actually make animations. So if you want, you can make like an idle animation. A lot of people use it to make like an angry animation. There's a lot of stuff you can do here. What I like to do is I like to make a like animation of the model falling asleep. Just so if my if it does disconnect or like something happens or I get up, the model will just kind of stare blankly at the camera for a bit, and then it'll fall asleep just so it's like, okay, well, they're gone. So pretty much with this, I was very worried about the animation for this program, but you know, it actually works pretty good. You have a timeline, you'll see that in the bottom right, and then you'll have all of your parameters that you've set. So pretty much you just set a keyframe and then set another one, and then you'll move it based on the parameter a little bit. It's actually pretty convenient. Definitely I'm not gonna go animating this way, but you know, it's pretty, for what it's worth, it's pretty nice. It's very quick and easy because I have worked with animation, so it was kind of, I looked up like one tutorial and then it's like, alright, cool, here's how you actually get it to animate, and I went, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, I think that's kind of, yeah, hopefully there's an actual outro. If you heard me talk about an outro in the last audio, pretend I didn't do that, I forgot. Pretty much of this part, like I said, model's done. Pretty much, this is just kind of, I figured I'd also show you what the actual, like, face program is. I use Vtube Studio, it's pretty good. You just kind of import your model. And then, pretty much, as soon as you import your model, you're gonna just set auto setup, and then it usually sets all the parameters for you. And then pretty much if you really want it from there, you could just go off and use this model. But usually I try to do a little bit of fixing. You can like edit your parameters. Do like mouth open sensitivity, eyebrow sensitivity. There's also stuff like if you want, like, pretty much you're just changing input output settings. So like say, oh, I want I move my eyebrows a lot, but I want the character to not move their eyebrows a lot. You can change that. Pretty much this is just a lot of editing. For the most part, I leave it pretty simple. But that's kind of, it's just me. I threw it in, it's in the program. You can use this. Very easy. Pretty good. It's not too buggy. You can also set, like, if you've been on my streams, how I have the bonk and pet thing. You can do that. But yeah, it works pretty good. Howdy. I do not know what this video is getting cut down to, but this is done. I'm, like, this part is, like, as of recording, not as of editing. Anyways. Have fun. Hope you liked it. Everything's janky, and that's perfectly fine. Bada bing, bada boom, I'm tired. I've been working on this for, like, 2 straight days. Ah!